Yeah. So I think yeah, I think it's a nice time, everybody. I can see every one of us. Thank God the Bay. I think we want to start right away. Can I, if you are here, can you use your favorite reaction? Yeah, it's nice to have every one of us here. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, great. Wow. Okay. Yeah, nice to have every one of us on board today. And I think it's been a very big journey. And then there's no way we can have, will I say, this 2 weeks will I say, preparation and graphic design classes without having intersects in between. And that's why a class like this, so let's say a session like this is very important. It's an opportunity for everybody to catch up. For those that perhaps have not been able to join live classes, they've not been able to maybe do some other assignments and the rest. I think this is just the time. One of the facilitators is going to be helping us with reviewing some of the contents. We help us reviewing some of the assignments, and not just that, we also have a guest in our midst today. Um, you'll be opening so many things to us, and one of which is telling us a lot about his journey from learning to becoming a leader in the creative space. So trust me, you're going to enjoy it today, and I'm so happy to have you. Yeah. Please, let's start with introducing ourselves. I want to know at least the first 10 people. We'll be unmuting them to just talk about, tell us about themselves and the location where they're connecting from. Just the first 10 people. So what you just need to do is to just raise your hands. Once you raise your hands, you'll be unmuted. Then you just introduce yourself, tell us your name, what you do, and where you're connecting from. Thank you. Yes, Musa, you're on it. Let's hear you.
Hello, good evening, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you very well. So clear.
Good evening, everyone. I am Musa Yakubu. I am joining from Nigeria, Sokoto State, and I'm very glad to be part of this training. It has been a wonderful time, and I also want to appreciate the organizers and our facilitators for the great work so far. We are enjoying it. It's really exciting. Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's nice to have you as well. Emmanuel, yeah, you can unmute now.
Okay, I'm Emmanuel Sapo, speaking from Ghana. I'm currently a student at Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, KNUST, and I'm in my final year, and I'm pursuing civil engineering. And I hope to learn more of graphic design to also help me in designing certain things, also for my church, and then personally for myself.
Yeah, great. Nice to have you, Emmanuel. Wow, nice to also meet you. Yeah, so we have the next is it Khadija, yeah. You are mute, you can unmute.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. I'm Hadija and I'm from Tanzania, from Zanzibar. I'm just a graduate, a high school graduate, and right now I'm so excited to study this session with you guys because it really helps me a lot in doing my small business, so I can create posters and announce my business. It's really, really exciting. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much. Happy to hear that has helped you to create posters. That's amazing. Let's hear from Samuel.
Hello,
Samuel, you can unmute. Yeah.
hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening. We can hear you
Okay.
clearly.
All right, sure. So my name is Samuel Prempe, speaking from Ghana. I'm a medical laboratory scientist. All right, so I joined this program to acquire new skills so that I can also develop some posters in my laboratory, like using the laboratory symbols, in form of posters for awareness. Because I'm the safety and health officer for my laboratory.
Wow, that's great. Nice to hear you, Samuel. Yeah, we are also happy to have you. Yeah, I think this is Miriam. Am I right? Yes, you can unmute. Let's hear you. Oh, you're not unmuted yet. You can unmute yourself now.
Hi,
Yes, we can hear you now.
how are you? Okay, my name is Mariam Hadi Sobro. I am from Zanzibar and I am learning in my secondary education in Zanzibar Muslim Academy. And I'm so very excited and I appreciate to join in this graphic design because I know that right now we are in mode of creativity. So I have to get knowledge in order to create things our because right now we have a lot of educated people. So our government will not employ those people who just learn. So we have to be creativity. Thank you.
Wow, nice one, nice one. It's nice to also have you on board. And I believe that this is just going to be the best um period. Thank you, thank you. I think we're going to just stop there while we proceed with what we've got today. I think first of all, I think we're so happy to have you all, and with us is I'll call him a friend and a colleague, and so it's Mr. Tifilos, and he's a creative media professional with over 5 years of experience in graphic design, motion design, live video production, and he's the creative lead at Media Vote Technologies. And in fact, he has worked with reputable organizations. And he mentioned there are a list of them, and he's a graduate of computer. He's a graduate with computer science degree from Federal University of Petroleum Resources in Nigeria. He's passionate about using designs and media to help impact stories and empower the next generations of creatives. And we have him with us today. And I think we'll be hearing from him first. And hearing from his story, I believe, is going to help to also shape um, our views about what we're learning and how we can transition into not just learners to become leaders in this creative space. So I think Mr. Theophilos is here, and he's going to pick it up. Thank you.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I hope you can all hear me now. Can everyone hear me? If you can hear me, just drop your emojis so I know you are hearing me. Oh, okay, okay. I am so happy that we are all here today. I think I should switch my camera on so you see my face. Oh, okay. So this is me. So here I am today. It's an opportunity to be among great minds and people that are passionate to use their digital skill and transforming it into something much more than the normal thing that everybody knows about. So yeah, this is me. Welcome. I'll introduce myself again. I am Theophilos Idigbe. Yeah, a graduate of FOPRE, Federal University of Petroleum Resources. Studied computer science. Actually, at the beginning, when Mr. Tangod asked somebody to introduce themselves, there was somebody that said he's studying civil engineering, but then he wants to learn graphics design. And I'm like, okay, it's something similar to my own faith. So, just like many of you, I started with a deep curiosity and zero knowledge. Oh, can you hear me? Someone is saying my voice is very low. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, but I guess if you can lift it up, if you can raise the voice, it's going to help.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, like as I was saying, I said I started like many of you, just out deep curiosity and zero knowledge about design. And today I get to work with exciting media and tech projects, collaborate with brands, and to help shape visual experience. So let me start from I gained admission into the university as a petroleum engineer into petroleum engineering department, and well, I had passion for design, I had passion for motion, I had passion for the creative world. So I was looking for a way to switch into design, into motion and everything. So I know you must know about it in your state, your country, your universities. You can actually switch departments and all of that. So I wrote a letter to my vice chancellor that I want to switch department into computer science. Year one, studying petroleum engineering is a 5-year course in my university. So from year one, I wanted to switch into computer science because I felt that was um, the place that is close to me where I can actually learn it. Year one, they told me that don't worry, don't move, you will like petroleum engineering. They didn't ask me why I wanted to switch, but they just told me that don't worry, you will love petroleum engineering. I said okay. Year two again, I wrote a letter, I want to switch, and I didn't hear anything. Year three, I wrote a letter, I want to switch, and nothing. But the bottom line is, I had to switch to computer science, and I went with what I wanted, and where I am today is as a result of being tenacious, striving for what I wanted, and that is it. I remember the first time I opened Photoshop back then in school. I never had a system, a computer, but I would borrow the ones from my friends and like open Photoshop. And back then, I started with CorelDRAW. If you remember CorelDRAW, some people use CorelDRAW till today. So I started with CorelDRAW. I looked at CorelDRAW and I'm like, okay, what is this tool used for? What is this tool used for? And I'm like trying to play with those tools. It felt like rocket science. I was overwhelmed but also curious. I took free online courses. I watched YouTube tutorials late into the night. I'll go for 9 classes just to get an idea of what CorelDRAW is and how to play with the tools. So, one funny thing is, if you are attached to an organization, let's say a church, you will want to design something for your church. So that was what I started with. I would want to play with design for my church. If there's an event, I want to come up with my own design and see how it is done and all of that. So I started designing for churches, church posters, small business flyers. I was not looking for money at my early stage. So I just wanted to try something new. So there are some I did some, how do I put it now? This is what I call it, fake clients. So like my elder brother, I was just telling him, do you need design for your company? Do you need design for your friends get together? And he said, yes, I need design. And I said, okay, I want to do it for you. And I'll do the design for my elder brother and all of that. I didn't wait for big clients at the beginning. I just built my skill one design at a time. But something changed. There was a turning point. What changes everything for me wasn't just my skill, it was consistency and community. I joined media teams, I volunteered, I got feedbacks, I learned from others. There are times where in school there will be some project who can design all of this for the student union, and I will option that I want to design, and without money I will just design. But then I was publishing myself, I was making myself known, I was increasing in my skill, I was increasing in my creative idea, my creative thinking and all of that. I volunteered for organizations, for programs, for events, for live graphics. I want to design graphics, lower third, and all of that. I volunteered, a lot of volunteering, and I got feedback. All the feedbacks were not pleasant. There were some that made me sad. There were some that got me downcasted, but I didn't dwell on those bad feedbacks because I knew that it would not be all bed of roses. So I had to move ahead and do something that was better than what I did before. So I built on it. Eventually, people started trusting me with real projects. Today, I don't just design, I lead projects, I mentor others, and help tell stories visually. So it's just an encouragement. Maybe you just downloaded Photoshop at the beginning of the course, and everything is like, why are there many tools here? What is happening? How do I go about it? You just have to take it one design at a time, one tool at a time. Today we have Canva. You can go online and you play with Canva. Back then there was no Canva, but we have Canva. We have YouTube videos. We have a community. You can as well reach out to members of the community and ask them, how did you do this, how did you do that, and go about it. So there's no being an island of your own. No, you have to work with the community. So if somebody is asking me, what advice do you think I can give to upcoming creatives, somebody wanting to learn graphics design, what are my key advice? One, start small, but start now. Start small, but start now. There's nothing like um, when I gain my knowledge, when I gain ideas, that is when I'll start. There's no better time to start than start now. Another one is, I would say, consistency beats talent when talent isn't consistent. If you notice, there are some designs that you will see online. Even if you are not a graphic designer, you'll be wondering, how did this brand got this person to design this thing for you? It's not looking all that giving, it's not nice. That is consistent. If you if you're a good designer but you're not consistent, you are not showing your work, you are not blowing your trumpet, nobody's going to know that you're a good designer. So there are some people that they are not good designers, but they are blowing their trumpet, they are pushing their jobs outside, they are building their portfolios and all of that. You'll be wondering, how did this person get this job? It is being consistent and pushing their job outside. So consistency beats talent. You can have talent, but how consistent are you? Another key advice I would give to graphic designers, I would say, use every opportunity to practice. Even in this workshop, use every opportunity to practice. Build a portfolio, even if it's self-initiated job. Build a portfolio. Never stop learning. Tools evolve, and so should you. Well, we have Photoshop of 23, Photoshop started like X7, X8 and all of that. But today we have Photoshop 2025. Tools evolve, so also is the designer. So you should not stop learning, continue learning. I'll close with this. You may not know where this journey will lead, but I am a proof that with persistency, passion, and people who believe in you, you can go from a confused student to a confident, creative professional. I'll believe in you because someone else believed in me, and so I believe in you, and I can't wait to see your growth. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Yep. I think that's just amazing. My take your point is what you just mentioned. Starts now, like start small, start now. Many of us we're waiting and looking forward to um the time in which we have everything, the time in which we think we are that good, we're perfect, and we feel, oh, this is when people can accept, so we appreciate what I do, and we're waiting for that special, beautiful time to start. No, I think Mr. Theophilus is letting us to know that the best time to start is now. In fact, what you've learned so far this week is enough. to start doing something is enough to start doing amazing stuff. And not just that, he mentioned something else you should pick up from here is that you've got to be consistent. And I think the partners and those that have brought the hosts and organizers of this virtual training, we're also working together to see that we can build on what has been said, help every young person or every person rather that is part of this journey to start now, to start getting their hands on major projects. And not just that, we're also working on ensuring that individuals can be consistent. So we're looking forward to see how we can work together even after this webinar and even after the training itself. So it's a nice one. Let's go straight to the other core part of this webinar, and that is we'll be inviting that is Tishay, one of the facilitator. I've been checking the groups, I've been checking everything we've been doing. It's been very, very amazing. Uh I saw designs that's wow. I wouldn't believe that that can be done just with few days lecture and few days training. I can't wait to get to know most of this amazing um, designers even after this whole program. But notwithstanding, for those that were not able to follow through and perhaps needs help with some explanation on some courses, need help with some explanation on as far as the training is concerned. So I think one of our facilitators is here, and in the next 15 minutes or so, is going to be speaking to us, reviewing some of those things that have been done so far. So please, can every one of us join me as we welcome Oluwatishe to speak with us. Yeah, thank you so much, and God bless you.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, but not very well.
Can you hear me now?
Not clear yet.
Hello? Is it better now? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you, but I guess it's breaking and it's not so clear.
Is it better now?
Okay, I wouldn't know. Are you using a earpiece, a microphone, or something separate from? Maybe you check that very well for us.
Is it better now? Hello?
Wow, I guess is it the network or so?
I'm sorry about this. Oh, try again.
Hello, are you still there? I don't know if you can just maybe log out and log in again, please, if that will work for us.
Can you hear me now?
I guess it's the network. So just give us a few minutes and while we allow him connect back. Thank you. So I don't know if you're here. You can raise your hand so I can identify you and unmute. Okay, I think hello. Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate. So we don't take the time of every one of us waiting on board. I think we're just going to go straight into this. I'll be helping him out on reviewing most of what you've done so far. I think for the classes, I've been going through every of the resources that are produced, and I think this is just going to be an opportunity. I don't know, everything works together for good. I believe that. And maybe it's an opportunity for me to just go through what I think we've been doing so far. And I'm going to use this opportunity. So I'll be talking about Photoshop and I'll say a few things that you can just take note of. So just take this to be a kind of masterclass, an extra thing to what you've learned. And I think I'll be sharing my screen. There's something you guys will be seeing right away and you'll be shocked. Yep. Let's go. I'll be sharing my screen, and that's let me go to it. So yep. Yeah, let me go to that. Sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, let me share my entire screen. That'll be better. Okay. Okay. I don't know if you can see my screen. Just wave your hands. I don't know. You can see my screen. Or just send reactions if you can see my screen. Good. Yeah, nice. Wow, nice. So sorry for the little delay in what we did and what we just achieved. But I think, as I said, it's for a purpose. Some of the designs you've been, will I say, seeing, and some of the things we've perhaps designs that relate to our work, the graphic design, our classes and our training, most of them are done by ourselves. So, and we're using the Photoshop. I think this is just going to be an opportunity to take a take a look at what the same tool you are learning can achieve for you. And so with what you can see now, I don't know if my screen, yeah, okay. I want to be sure. Send the reaction again if you can see my screen. I want to be very sure about that. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so and this is just one of it. And I think this, yes, that most of us saw, all of this were done with Photoshop. So I think I should use this to just say a few things. And I think the first thing I want to mention is that tool you're learning, or the tool you'll be learning for the remaining part of this training, is a very big tool. It's an amazing tool that you can use to create anything that you want. I would like to use the word, you can manipulate anything, and whether you're going into photo manipulation or you want to go into editing of photos. In fact, apart from Lightroom, we also use we also use Photoshop to edit pictures. And not just that, we also use Photoshop for graphics works, like making of flyers, creating brochures, creating banners and the rest of that. So so um so right now I'll be saying few things right away. Okay, so let's start with some of the tools that we've learned so far. I think the move tool. Yeah. So I'll just say a few things, and I will be using this design especially to explain all of that. So the move tool, just like the word move, it means it's used to move things anywhere. Anything you can see here, you can see definitely I can move any of the old texts I created. And you see this is just an image that's created, so I can move things anywhere. So I think if you could always also know each of these tools by the names and relate the names to what they do, I think it's going to help you to also know, okay, with this, it means, oh, that's the move tool. It means I can move any elements on my design anywhere. Good. So I think another tool that is very important as designer, let me go straight to the text tool, because I saw some of the things we've been able to do. So I talked about the move tool, then I'm moving straight to the text tool. And the text tool, like every other tool, like what you've used, is what you use for to type in any text. So right here you have free 2 weeks. You could put anything in there. You could just do anything and bring in any text you want. And not just that, because of it has to do, and as designers, I think there are three major things that are very important. One, the color. Two, elements, other elements in form of shapes, forms, or images. Then the last one, typography. And typography has to do with texts. So you see, that's why text is very important. In fact, the way you use texts matters a lot. So, and in text, I'm going to be talking about something, and that is, let me move this a little. Yeah, so, but I'll be talking about fonts. So there's no way we're going to talk about the text tool without talking about fonts. So, and fonts, I think let me give you an hint about for every designers to hear is that, you don't want to create a design using so many fonts. You don't want to create a design using so many fonts. I think some of the principles that's been given for designers is that you don't want to exceed the use of more than two fonts. You want to use one or two fonts max in a design, but you can always play around with the weights. So when I say weights, now look at this. For this text that has been selected, I'm going to come to my fonts. You will discover that, let me go to, I think I use Arboria. I'm going to search for Arboria. Good. Now, if you can see this screen, I hope you can see this well. You see that in Arboria, we have different style, and you can see the effects on they're all Arboria. They're all Arboria, but different style. Meaning this Arboria black, italics. So it's slant, bold italics, book, and all of this. So if there's anything you're going to learn from this short review, is that fonts, texts generally, or typography generally, is very important. In fact, I can do a whole design without images, with just texts. Just playing around with this. And don't forget as well that it's advisable to use at least two max, at most, yeah, that's the word, at most two fonts. You don't want to use more than two fonts as a designer. Yeah, by the time you start introducing so many fonts, it begins to look so messy. Yeah. So, and that's a proof. If you check all this design, you'll be very shocked that all is just one font. I was just playing around. This is the black. This is bold. Yeah, this is bold. And this is book, which is like regular, what you can call regular in other fonts and the rest of that. So I think with that mention, I should now go straight to the next. I think one more hint for typography is I should ask every designer in the house today, why are you doing your designs? Why are you making those designs? Maybe answer the following questions. One, is it because you want it to be beautiful? One, or you want it to be readable? Yeah, I see many designers making mistakes today, just trying to, to display different type of fonts. They're making a big mistake because the real and the primary reason why you use texts on your design is that you want people to be able to read it. So you want to ensure that those things that needs to be seen are clear and bold. For example, I can't imagine. Let me do a little thing. Let me do something very funny. Let me go to this text, empowering African youth. And I can go and use let me see, if I use a font that we can barely read, it's not going to be nice. Let me look for one font that's this might not be too good. This is still better, but there are some funny fonts. Definitely won't use this. Let me look for such fonts. You discover that. So, but designers today make so many mistakes, and they want to just show that they can, they can use fonts and they can use whatever, and they make the mistake of just not being careful about the font they choose to pass a particular message. They discover that if text they're about to display in their design is the real thing, is what should be emphasized, and they are using script fonts. I think that's what you should learn today, is that, okay, as a designer, I think typography is very important. So, and I should ask myself, this text I'm about to bring in as an element in my design, what are my intentions? Do I want people to read it? Well, is it the core components of this design? Yeah. So I won't take the time. I should be wrapping up this. So as I said, I want to just mention the key tips when it comes to graphic design. I've talked about move, because you need to move any elements within your design. Then I went straight to text, the type tool, because typography is very, very important in design. And in design, you want to ensure that that it's clear, it's readable. And you can see every text here is readable, because we want everybody that sees this to be able to do that. Then one more tool I'm going to talk about before I leave here should be color. But it's not in the two palettes here. But I will go straight to let me use this to bring that color picker out. Yeah, colors. I'm going to talk about colors. And that is the last thing I'm going to talk about, and I'll wrap up this. There's no way we can talk about designs without talking about colors. I mentioned earlier that three things are very important in design. One, I said color. Two, typography. Then three, the either shape, upward shape slash pictures. So whatever you're using, either I think we call them vectors, pictures or vectors. Yeah, like the circles you see here, the image that has been brought into this, the logos and all of that. So these three things are very important. And for text, I mentioned that it must be legible, it must be readable. Yeah, for color, you don't want to make your design too noisy with so many colors. Just like I said about typography and text, ideally for all designers, it's ideal that you don't use more than two colors, just like texts. It's ideal that you don't use more than two colors as well. Yeah, so most of the times we design with what we call brand books. So we want to know what are the colors that resonate with this brand, and we want to use that. I'm going to say something quickly. And not just that, I think hopefully I think after this class, we're still going to, in fact, for the best in this class, I just need to say it. I hope my partners, um, I'm not going to be too surprised that I have to say it to the house today. After this 2 weeks program, the best, we're going to mentor them. So we're going to give free mentorship session for the best designers. So, and that would be exposing you to more tips, exposing you to more projects, and guiding you through the whole process. So you perhaps be working with projects with some of us, the designers too. And so I would like to say something. Colors are very, very important. So for example, I discovered that I'm importing an image that has major colors here are looking like this blue in any shade, whether the dark shade or the bright shade, and orange color. Look at what I did. Because I am not so much in control of the image, even though I had choice, remember, I ensure that the young man, the character here, is still wearing a blue jean so that he can relate. Then I'm using the zoom icon that's blue. Then because of this golden orange is there as something that's standing out, I ensured that my icons and the circles I'm introducing are also in that color. I'm not bringing in any new color because I don't want to mess up the design with so many colors. No. So because I'm bringing an image, I want to ensure that any color I'm going to introduce into my design should suit any of this color that has already been introduced because I don't want to have so many colors on my design. So once again, I would say um, um, this for design, color is very important. And you want to see as you want to do everything possible to minimize the use of color. And not just that, you want to follow a particular brand. Before I wrap up, I want to show us the other design I showed us, still talking about colors. Yeah. So apart from the flag, which we cannot control, is something that must be there. If you look at this design very well, it was intentional that you can definitely see the colors used. There's a dominant color, and the black, then the blue in every shade, whether the bright or the dark, but it's blue. And you can see that we ensure that that goes everywhere. Anything that was being introduced, you can see the colors. And not just that, even the images were treated with blue color on them to give it so that they are all in the same space. And you can see blue, blue, and we avoid introducing any other color that would not relate. So I think with this tip today, I hope I've been able to take you through and walk you through some important aspects of graphic design, an extra to what you've learned this week. Key things you should take note of. Remember the three things I mentioned: typography, your text should be readable, should be clear, and then your colors. And for text, I said you shouldn't, as a designer, a proper designer, you shouldn't go more than 2 fonts most of the times. I mean, that's standard. Yeah. If for any reason you're going to break the rule, then you should be very, very sure about that. Yeah. Then for colors, the same. You shouldn't use so many colors. 2 is enough. Yeah. The only time you introduce other colors, like the logo here, like for logos, for flags, because I cannot do anything about that. The only time I introduce it is because those ones I cannot change them. So that's when you see other colors. So, but for my design, my creative, the text, the shapes, and all of that I can control, I ensure that they go round a particular tone of color. Yeah. And one more thing I mentioned, your images. Yeah, let it be very good and let it be amazing. I think with this, I hope I've been able to help everybody. That's we'll just entertain a few questions, and I think over there, any other thing that isn't clear in the previous class will be made clear. So thank you once again. Yeah. So I think it's time for questions. Thank you. Thank you. So it's time for question. So just like we introduced ourselves, if you've got questions, you just raise your hands and you have the opportunity to be unmuted and you ask your question. So let's go with that right away. Thank you. Yeah, any question? Any question from any angle? You want to ask questions that relates with to what you've learned in the past? Yeah, good. Yeah, let's start with, yeah, you can unmute. That is Hajira. Yeah, you can unmute.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening. Please, my question has to do with the background of the flyer or poster that you'd be creating. Are we always supposed to have a particular background, or we can do without it?
Thank you so much. Yeah, so there's always going to be a background. So but now look at this, take note of this. There's what we call contrasts in design. So your background, if it's a bright color, so you could always choose, are you going to make your background bright color? Sometimes you use white or any other bright color, or you go dark color. Sometimes you use black or any other dark color. Yeah, so but take note of what I'm going to say now. Is that you always go contrast. If I go dark color, then every element that comes on that design should be bright. So for the design you saw, I use black. So every other thing coming on it were bright. White, bright blue, and every other thing that would pop out of the dark background. So if I'd used the white, then it would have been the other way around. Then because I've used something bright, then I would have come in with dark shades in whatsoever color I choose. So talking about colors again, background colors. Yes, it's very important. Just like you call it, is the background, is the foundation, is the base to whatsoever you're going to be laying, or every other element you're going to be laying. But may I also mention that sometimes it might not just be only colors. Sometimes it could be images. Yeah, sometimes it could be images. I hope I answered the question. So yeah. Okay, any other question? Justice, you can unmute. Yes, I will be reading those on the chat. So you could always send on the chat as well. I would read. Okay, and I think my facilitators are there. Our facilitators are there to also answer that. So, Justice, can we hear you?
Hello, good evening, sir.
Yeah, good
Please,
day.
my name is Justice Saji.
Okay.
Thank you very much. So my question is about the typography. In how will you know the type of typography to use for a design? Sometimes you have the strips, typographies, and a lot. So how will you know at this design I should use this type of typography to match what I am doing?
Oh, sorry. Thank you so much. That's a very beautiful question. I would have, as me, I had more time, which I think, as I said, the best participants would have an opportunity to be mentored, and I can't wait. I've been seeing amazing jobs on the group. So, but to answer your question, there are different type of fonts, and you know what? Each of these type of fonts has their they have what they are meant for. We have display fonts. These are fonts that are very good to be to display content that you want people to read on screen. We have, I think I think one of the facilitators have talked about serif and sans serif. We also have scripts. Script fonts are there to beautify. They are just there to complement on your design. So answering that question, I think I want to know why, what is the reason behind the fonts I'm introducing? So if I'm introducing a text to beautify my design, then going scripts will be cool. Like just to beautify, not necessarily to tell people anything, but to just beautify. So scripts fonts are amazing doing that. So, but when it's we want people to read, you want something clear, something that is then it's always good to go for display fonts, fonts that are legible, that are bold. That is a key point. But another thing I want you to know as a designer, most of the times you'll be using brand book. For example, if you're going to design for our brand, I'm going to need to send you my brand book. And in my brand book, I have the kind of fonts you should use for me. So most of the time when you're designing for big brands, they have brand books. And as a designer, you want to request for the brand book because you want to follow on the brand book, which is a brand guide. You will have the colors you should use that relate to that organization. You have the text, the kind of fonts you should use that relates to that. So I think that answers your question. So if you have not brand book, you should always know why, what is the reason for the texts, and that should affect the choice of fonts. But if it's an organization that have a brand book, you just need to follow the brand, the fonts that's been recommended on that stuff. I hope you answer your question. Thank you so much. It's time for I think it's called Joe. Sorry if I did not pronounce that well. You can unmute.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Kojo, and my question is about how to select shape or pictures, how to select a good one that match the project that we do. So how to select a good one? Any tip about that? Thank you.
Thank you so much. I don't know why everyone asking questions today are asking an amazing question. I think I give kudos to everybody that is joining this. Means wow, I'm amazed. Yeah. So pictures. So I think the first thing when it has to do with pictures, you want to make sure your pictures are clear. Sometimes designers do not take note of that. We just go up there, download anything, and it's sometimes blurry, and we just apply it there. No, you want it to be very clear because it could mess up your whole design. So the first thing is that whatsoever picture or illustration you're going to be getting, it must be very clear. So remember what pictures are to do. Sometimes we used to say that pictures or images says a lot. They have a lot of words. So sometimes I might have so many texts. In fact, it's not so ideal to have many contents on your flyers. So sometimes where possible, when you can use the pictures to illustrate, then please take advantage of that when you can use pictures to illustrate. So for example, I want to illustrate a particular idea or a particular theme. I think there's a design someone sent to me for a technology summit, and it's about AI. And that design I was given the team, and I think I've forgotten the title, but it has to do with AI. Oh, and I'm like, okay, I should just bring robotics into this and just AI there instead of having so many contents to it right there. So remember, your image should not be blur, it should be very sharp, and at the same time, your images are there to illustrate, to tell a lot of things. So people looking at the image can almost tell what it's all about. And so I think that's very important. That is very important why trying to select images. And I think when it comes to shape, I don't think there is one way to go about it. I think that has to do with creativity. Yeah, so whether you're going to use a square, you're going to use a circle, you're going to use whatsoever form or type of shape, I think that now has to do with the style. But remember, one word when introducing many elements, contrasts. Yeah, contrasts. Yes, remember contrasts. So sometimes I want to tell you something. For us, we can see the catch up flyer that's in on our on our call now. If you check for the hosts, the pictures were in circles, yeah. But if you check for the guests, the pictures are in square. That's contrasts. I'm trying to give a difference that, we have this set of people there, then we have this other set of people there. I'm trying to differentiate. So sometimes your shape, you also want to introduce contrast into it. So I hope I answered the question. Yep, I don't know. I think there's just space to answer two more questions. If there are questions, just raise your hands. Okay, and if there are no more questions, I think, wow, it's been a very wonderful time together. And I tell you, we really appreciate everything we're doing together, and we have bigger plans for every one of us. And first of all, I want to be sure that the questions on the chat are answered too. Okay. I guess they're answered. Okay, how do we go about font size? Is there any particular formula? Yeah, so thanks to the facilitator that answered that. For the font size, it depends on what you want to be seen, what you want to stand out. So for example, on the design on the screen, you can say catch up. Catch up is what we want everybody to see first. So I think that affects the size as well. Yeah. So right away, without taking the time, we're rounding off the whole session, and I really appreciate everyone that came on board. I'll be inviting Patience. Don't know if she's on the call. If she is, can she raise her hands? Can't find her again. She's got something to tell us as a wrap up. Yeah, I think one of the hosts has Miss Patience. Is she here? Okay, is she?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So thank you
Yeah,
for.
hello.
Yeah, we can hear you. So I think just help us with maybe we'll just invite you to wrap up and help with closing remarks and every other thing. Thank you.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Today this session has actually been more impactful than I imagined. And although we had some few hitches, the whole session has been very amazing. And we thank you for your time, everybody, your time, the guest speaker, most especially for his time, giving us all this is more than an hour to talk to our participants about his journey. We really appreciate that. And we appreciate everyone for joining this meeting, and tell you that we have a lot more for you, even after this workshop. And all that we need from you is your utmost participation in the program. Yeah. Thank you once again for your time today. And I think that's the end of. Sorry, everyone. Sorry. And I think that's the end of the session for tonight. So all that I'll say is that bye bye to everyone and see you in class.
Okay, seems Agnes wants to say something. Okay, Agnes, yeah, you can speak.
Hello, everyone. Thank you all for joining. My name is Agnes Etua, and I'm the founder of Buoyancy Foundation, and I'm part of the partner organization for this sustainable initiative or workshop. Yeah, so I'm in two meetings at the same time. Sorry, I was just listening. Sorry, I wasn't fully engaged. But then I really appreciate you all for joining, and I hope that you continue with your lessons and then committing to your assignments and making the sessions lively so that your facilitators will also, have more energy and then the pleasure to engage you all. Yeah, so thank you all for.
Yep. Thank you so much. As we wrap up the oath of, let me just give you an hint about, what's been said so far, that there's something big coming. And I should just say that for some of us that are here. Next week, Saturday, we are hoping to do something amazing. We're going to be having more guests in the house, and we'll be learning so many things, how you can even hand with what you've learned. And we'll be talking more about the whole journey. And I think it's also be an opportunity to give a shout out to those that have been doing amazingly well in the whole process. So you don't want to miss it. And may I let you know that for interaction, that is, if you want to join this Zoom link, you want to join or you want to be part of it virtually via the Zoom, you want to connect on time. And please, for as many persons, not just, I think for next week session, anybody and everybody can be part of that, because we'll be hearing from different people, different parts of the world. I mean, out of in Africa and outside Africa, and they'll be speaking with us. These are professionals and people that are doing exactly what we're learning. So it would be nice to also have every one of us next week, Saturday, on the 19th. We will be discussing on what comes next and how you and I would move on from what we've started. And especially as designers, we can become better designers. And for those that are not proper designers, maybe they're content creators or they're videographers or the rest of that, we could work together and do things together. Thank you once again. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Yeah, God bless.